Everyone wants more focus. Everyone wants more discipline. Yet most people chase these qualities in the wrong places, in productivity hacks, apps, motivational quotes. But the true masters of focus, the architects of discipline, didn't learn these skills from a book or a seminar. They live them every single day. Hundreds of years ago, in the misty mountains, quiet dojos, and bloody battlefields of ancient Japan, a group of warriors forged themselves into living instruments of willpower. These warriors were called the samurai. The samurai didn't just fight their enemies. They fought something far more difficult: their own impulses, their own fears, the chaotic storms of the mind. Every strike, every stance, every breath was a lesson in self-mastery. They understood that before you can control the outside world, you must first conquer the world within. And from this relentless inner struggle, they developed a system, a method so precise, so unyielding, that it honed not just the body, but the mind. A system that sharpened attention to a blade-like focus, built discipline like armor, and turned ordinary humans into warriors capable of extraordinary feats. This is not just history. This is a blueprint, a guide to transforming your life in the same way the samurai transformed theirs. The practices may seem simple on the surface, but beneath that simplicity lies a power that has endured for centuries. Power that can help you master your thoughts, your emotions, and ultimately your actions. This is the samurai method, the ancient Japanese blueprint for extreme focus, unshakable discipline, and the relentless pursuit of mastery. And today, you are about to step onto the path they walked. Part 1. The samurai understanding of the mind. Before swords, before armor, before any technique, the samurai trained the one thing that truly decides victory: the mind. Every swing of the blade, every maneuver on the battlefield, every strategic decision began here. The samurai believed, as they often said, a distracted mind leads to a defeated warrior. In their understanding, the mind existed in only two states. The first, the untrained mind, is chaotic. It is pulled by impulses, swayed by emotions, and distracted by every passing thought. It reacts instead of acts. It panics instead of plans. A warrior with an untrained mind might wield a sword, but he cannot wield himself. The second, the trained mind, is calm, precise, unmovable. It is like water, soft yet unstoppable, flowing around obstacles but never losing direction. It is sharp, focused, disciplined. It is a mind that responds, not reacts. It is the difference between survival and defeat, between a warrior and a man lost in his own fear. The samurai's ultimate goal was simple, yet nearly impossible: transform the untrained mind into the trained mind. Every moment of their lives was a step toward this transformation. Even the smallest, seemingly mundane tasks, polishing armor, arranging weapons, brewing tea, walking through the garden, were deliberate exercises in presence. Each ritual trained them to notice the subtle, the precise, the fleeting. Each action demanded attention, patience, and a controlled mind. Through these repeated, disciplined practices, they learned to stay unshaken in the face of chaos, to remain razor-sharp under pressure, to act with clarity when the world demanded split-second decisions. For the samurai, the battlefield was not just a test of skill or strength. It was a test of the mind, the ultimate frontier of mastery, the forge in which focus, discipline, and composure were hammered into perfection. Part 2. Saiza, the foundation of samurai discipline. The first and most essential practice for a samurai was Saiza, the art of kneeling, sitting upright, and remaining completely still. At first glance, it seems simple, almost mundane. But for the untrained, it is anything but. Pain creeps into knees and ankles. The body protests. The mind rebels. To the impatient, it feels impossible. Yet for the samurai, Saiza was far more than a posture. It was a doorway into mastery. A single session of Saiza was not measured in minutes, but in patience, focus, and control. Every moment spent sitting still was a lesson in restraint, a rehearsal for the chaos that awaited on the battlefield. Through Saiza, The samurai trained themselves to endure discomfort without complaint, to remain motionless while the mind screamed for distraction. It strengthened control over impulses, cultivating patience where once there was haste. It sharpened focus like a blade polished against stone, and it forged mental resilience, teaching them that stillness, even in pain, was a strength, not a weakness. Why was this so crucial? Because a warrior who cannot sit calmly cannot fight calmly. He cannot think clearly in the heat of battle. He cannot act decisively when every second counts. The body will move, but the mind will falter. Saiza bridges that gap. It builds the mental spine before the physical spine ever moves. It teaches the mind to lead, rather than the body to follow blindly. In the stillness of Saiza, the samurai discovered an inner battlefield, one where discipline triumphed over discomfort, patience conquered impatience, and the quiet mind proved stronger than any sword. Before wielding a blade, before stepping into danger, the samurai first master themselves through the simple, yet profoundly demanding practice of sitting still. Part 3. Mokus, the samurai meditation ritual. Before the first swing of the sword, before the clash of steel on the battlefield, the samurai performed Mushin, a deeply structured meditation ritual designed to reset the mind and prepare it for absolute focus. In the quiet of the dojo, or beneath the shadow of a pine, the samurai would sit, eyes half closed, gaze softened, breath slow, deliberate, back straight, spine aligned like a column of steel. Every posture, every inhalation, every exhalation was intentional, precise. They were not meditating to escape reality. They were not seeking mere relaxation. What they sought was something far more vital: the ability to empty the mental noise that destroys focus. Every fear, every distraction, every impulsive thought was set aside, like clearing debris from a battlefield before a fight. In Mushin, they trained the mind with the same rigor they trained the body. They practiced breath control, learning to anchor the mind in the rhythm of life itself. Thought restraint, observing impulses without surrendering to them. Emotional neutralization, feeling fear, anger, and desire without being controlled by them. Detachment from fear, recognizing danger without panic, acknowledging risk without hesitation. Through this disciplined practice, the samurai cultivated Fudo-shin, the immovable mind, a state of being in which the mind becomes unshakable, unyielding, and utterly present. A mind that cannot be rattled by pressure, stress, or even the inevitability of death. Mushin was more than meditation. It was preparation for life and death alike. By training the mind to remain serene under any circumstance, the samurai ensured that when the moment of action came, clarity would guide the hand, not panic. In the stillness of Mushin, the samurai discovered the ultimate weapon, a mind perfectly disciplined, perfectly focused, perfectly immovable. Part 4. Kihon, mastery through repetition. The samurai embraced a brutal truth that few understand. Discipline is repetition. Repetition is discipline. At the heart of their training was Kihon, the mastery of fundamentals. Every motion, every stance, every breath, every swing of the sword was broken down into its simplest form and repeated endlessly until it became instinct. They practiced the basics not for show, not for ceremony, but for survival. Swinging the sword, drawing the blade, walking the stance, controlling the breath, perfecting hand placement. Every detail mattered. Every detail demanded attention. And they didn't practice once, or 10 times, or 100 times. They practiced thousands of times, sometimes tens of thousands, until the movements were no longer conscious choices, but automatic extensions of their trained mind. Why such extreme repetition? Because repetition does more than build skill. It builds muscle memory. The body learns to act without hesitation. It builds calmness under pressure. When chaos erupts, the body moves without the interference of panic. It builds efficiency. Every movement sharp, precise, economical. And most importantly, it builds automatic focus. the mind trained to concentrate, to observe, to act decisively without distraction. To the samurai, what the world called boredom was a doorway to mastery. Every repetition, every seemingly mundane task was an opportunity for enlightenment. They understood that mastery is never glamorous. It is invisible, patient, and often grueling. Through Kihon, the samurai transformed repetition into ritual, discipline into instinct, and effort into art. The mind sharpened, the body obeyed, and focus became as natural as breathing. In the quiet echo of countless strikes, they discovered a universal truth. True mastery is not born in the extraordinary moment. It is forged in the thousands of ordinary ones leading up to it. Part 5. Kaishiku, the samurai habit of precision. Another core element of samurai training was kaishiku, the art of making every action precise, deliberate, and intentional. It was more than skill, it was a mindset. The samurai believed focus is found in the smallest movement. To the untrained eye, kaishiku might seem trivial. Cutting fruit, tying armor, placing a teacup, folding cloth. These are mundane, everyday tasks. But to a samurai, each action was a chance to sharpen the mind. Each motion, no matter how small, became a practice in awareness, concentration, and mastery. Precision, they understood, was not just about avoiding mistakes. It was about training the mind to notice the invisible, to act with purpose, and to respect the moment. Even the smallest lapse of attention could become a life-or-death error on the battlefield. The act of perfectly tying a knot in armor mirrored the focus needed to draw a blade in combat. The placement of a teacup reflected the same patience and intention required for every decision made under pressure. Every mistake was not failure. It was a teacher. A misaligned knot, a clumsy fold, a spilled drop of tea. Each demanded reflection, correction, and renewed effort. This was the path of continuous refinement. The samurai didn't rush. They didn't cut corners. They understood that mastery is not found in the grand gestures, but in the tiny, repeated, deliberate details. Through kaishiku, the samurai trained more than their hands. They trained their minds to observe deeply, to act deliberately, and to remain fully present in every moment. Precision became a habit, and habit became discipline. In this way, focus was no longer something they forced. It became their natural state. By practicing precision in every small act, they learned a truth that transcends centuries. The mind mirrors the body. A body trained in careful, deliberate movements cultivates a mind capable of razor-sharp focus, unshakable discipline, and perfect timing. Kaishiku was the bridge between mundane life and mastery. It reminded the samurai that the smallest, simplest actions are never insignificant. Each fold, each placement, each breath, when executed with attention and intention, was another step on the path to becoming unmovable, unstoppable, and fully alive. Through kaishiku, the samurai discovered that mastery is not an endpoint. It is a way of being, where every gesture, every act, every moment becomes an opportunity to sharpen the mind and perfect the self. Part 6. Misogi, cleansing the inner noise. Another cornerstone of the samurai's mental training was misogi, a purification ritual performed in the raw embrace of nature. Often, amid standing beneath freezing waterfalls, plunging into icy rivers, or immersing oneself in cold mountain streams. On the surface, it appeared to be a spiritual practice, but its purpose went far deeper. Misogi was training, a brutal exercise designed to forge resilience, focus, and unwavering discipline. In these moments, the samurai confronted the raw, uncompromising force of nature. The cold struck the body first, shocking muscles, tightening skin, and demanding immediate adaptation. But the real challenge was internal. The mind screamed to escape. Panic, discomfort, and instinctive withdrawal surged like waves against a rock. This is where misogi became more than ritual. It became a teacher. Through misogi, the samurai trained mental shock resistance, learning to remain present when the world assaults you. Breath control, mastering the body's natural response to extreme stress. Endurance, discovering that limits are far beyond what the mind initially believes. Commitment under stress, cultivating the ability to continue no matter how uncomfortable the moment. Standing under ice-cold water, they learned a profound truth. The mind quits long before the body does. Fear, discomfort, and the temptation to flee were tested and overcome. Every shiver, every gasp, every trembling muscle became an opportunity to train the mind to remain calm, controlled, and focused. Misogi was not punishment, it was education. It reminded the samurai that clarity emerges from adversity, and focus is born in the moments we are tempted to abandon it. Each ritual cleansed not just the body, but the inner noise, the chatter, doubt, and distraction that clouds judgment and weakens resolve. By repeatedly confronting these extreme conditions, samurai developed a mind capable of staying steady in chaos, calm under pressure, and sharp when others faltered. Misogi hardened them in a way that meditation alone could not. It fused mental resilience with bodily endurance, creating warriors whose focus could not be shaken by fear, pain, or the unexpected. Through misogi, they discovered an essential principle of mastery. True strength is forged at the edge of discomfort. Where the mind is tested, the body is challenged, and the spirit is refined. Part 7. Bushidō, the code that created discipline. What tied every practice, every ritual, every moment of the samurai's life together was Bushidō, the legendary moral code that defined who they were, how they lived, and how they acted. It was not a set of abstract rules, but a living philosophy, a blueprint for discipline, integrity, and purpose. Bushidō rested on 7 pillars, each one shaping the warrior's mind and character. Gi, integrity, to act with unwavering honesty, making decisions guided by principle, not convenience. U, courage, to face fear head-on, whether on the battlefield or in the quiet struggles of everyday life. Jin, compassion, to care for others, balancing strength with empathy, understanding that true power serves more than oneself. Rei, respect, to honor all life, traditions, and relationships, understanding that respect builds trust and focus. Makoto, honesty, to speak and act truthfully, allowing the mind to operate without deception or distraction. Meio, honor, to hold oneself accountable for actions, living in a way that earns and preserves personal and collective dignity. Chugi, loyalty, to commit fully to family, mentors, comrades, and ideals, cultivating focus through dedication. Bushidō was more than philosophy. It was a lifestyle. Every decision, every action, every breath was informed by these principles. The code created a mental framework that gave the samurai stability, identity, and purpose. The essential ingredients for focus that is unshakable, discipline that is unbreakable, and resilience that endures. Without Bushidō, even the most skilled swordsman could falter. Without a moral compass, training alone could not sustain clarity under pressure. Bushidō was the anchor that held the mind steady, the filter through which every thought, impulse, and action passed. It transformed ordinary routines into meaningful practice, turning repetition, meditation, and endurance into acts of intentional mastery. The samurai understood a simple, timeless truth. Your actions shape who you become. Discipline is not just a habit, nor focus merely a skill. They are reflections of the principles that guide your life. By living according to Bushidō, the samurai aligned their mind, body, and spirit. Every ritual, every posture, every strike was a manifestation of these values, a demonstration that discipline is not imposed externally, but grown internally through conscious, principled living. Bushidō was the invisible force that transformed training into mastery, struggle into clarity, and chaos into unwavering focus. It was not merely a code to follow. It was the very essence of the samurai way. Part 8. modern application. How you can use the samurai method today. You don't need armor. You don't need sword. You don't need a dojo. All you need is intention. The same principles that forged the samurai mind can transform your life today. Sharpening focus, building unshakable discipline, and creating clarity under pressure. Here's how to apply the samurai method in your modern life. 1. Practice Saiza daily, even for just 5 minutes. Sit upright, knees together, back straight, hands resting calmly. At first, it may feel uncomfortable, even painful. That's the point. Still the body, still the mind. In this simple posture, you learn patience, presence, and control over impulses, the foundation of focus in a world full of distractions. 2. Use Makuso breathing before work or important tasks. Inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 6. Close your eyes slightly. Empty your mental noise. Let the chatter fade. Just as the samurai cleared their minds before battle, you can clear yours before decision-making, creative work, or problem-solving. 3. Apply the Kihon principle in your daily life. Pick one skill, one habit, or one aspect of your craft, and repeat it every day. Whether it's writing, coding, exercising, or practicing an instrument. Mastery is built through repetition. Thousands of small, deliberate actions create effortless skill, automatic focus, and confidence under pressure. 4. Apply kaishaku, precision in everything. Clean your desk. Fold your clothes carefully. Organize your workspace. Move intentionally. Every small act performed with attention trains your mind to notice the details, act deliberately, and develop razor-sharp focus. The smallest gestures can become exercises in mastery. 5. Weekly misogi. Challenge your comfort zone. Cold showers, ice baths, or exposure to nature's harsh elements train your mind not to panic under stress. Discomfort becomes your teacher. The mind learns resilience, the body learns endurance, and focus becomes unshakable, even when the world feels chaotic. 6. Build your own Bushidō, a personal code. Write down the principles you want to live by. Let integrity, courage, patience, or loyalty guide your actions. This code becomes your mental armor, your inner compass, keeping you grounded, disciplined, and focused when life throws distractions, fear, or temptation your way. The samurai method is not about fighting enemies. It's about mastering yourself. Every posture, breath, repetition, and choice builds a mind that is sharp, calm, and unbreakable. By adopting these practices, you can live with the same clarity, focus, and discipline that forged the greatest warriors in history. The battlefield has changed, but the rules of mastery haven't. Part 9. The Samurai Truth. Samurai discipline was never built in a single day. It was never born from fleeting motivation. It was never granted by talent, luck, or circumstance. The truth is far more demanding and far more empowering. Samurai discipline was forged, hammered, and sharpened through small, consistent, purposeful actions repeated every day without fail. Every posture held, every breath controlled, every swing of the sword, every folded cloth, every cold immersion, each was a deliberate step toward mastery. The process was relentless, the progress invisible to anyone who did not practice. But over time, these tiny actions accumulated. They transformed the mind. They turned ordinary thoughts into unshakable focus, scattered impulses into precise control, and fear into calm, resolute action. In other words, they created a mind sharper than any blade, a weapon as formidable as the katana itself. And here's the most important lesson. You can build that weapon too. Focus is not a gift. Discipline is not a gene. They are skills, cultivated through repetition, patience, and intention. They are available to anyone willing to step onto the path. The samurai did not rely on external validation. They did not wait for the perfect moment or the perfect teacher. They chose to act, to train, and to refine themselves every single day. Their lives were a testament to the power of small, intentional habits, compounded over years until mastery became inevitable. Your modern life may not require a sword, a dojo, or icy waterfalls. But the principles are the same. Daily practice, deliberate focus, repeated action, and adherence to a personal code. These are the foundations of mastery in any field, at any time. The samurai show us that greatness is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice, commitment, and consistency. Each day you practice, each time you resist distraction, each moment you act with precision, you are sharpening your own mind. You are forging your inner weapon. Remember this: mastery is not extraordinary. It is ordinary actions performed extraordinarily well, every day, without compromise. And just like the samurai, if you follow the method, if you live with intention and discipline, you will discover a power within yourself stronger than any obstacle, sharper than any challenge, and unshakable in the face of life itself. If you want the mind of a warrior, you must train like one. The samurai didn't wait for courage to arrive. They didn't wait for motivation to strike. They acted. Every day, in every small, deliberate choice, they honed their focus, sharpened their discipline, and strengthened their resolve. And you can do the same. So here's your challenge. Begin the samurai method today. Start small. Start simple. Sit in stillness for just 5 minutes. Close your eyes, steady your breath, and return your attention to the present moment. Notice your thoughts. Notice your impulses. And then choose to let them go. Control your mind before the world controls it for you. From there, layer the practices. Try a few Mushin breaths in the morning. Repeat one small skill with Kihon precision. Organize your space with Kaishiku awareness. End the week with a small Misogi challenge, a cold shower, a bracing walk, a test of endurance. Every action is an opportunity to train yourself. Every ritual a step toward mastery. Remember, focus is not a gift. Discipline is not a trait reserved for the few. There are skills anyone can forge, just as the samurai did centuries ago. It doesn't require extraordinary circumstances. It requires consistency, intention, and patience. If you are ready for deeper discipline, if you are ready to sharpen your mind, strengthen your habits, and live with purpose, then take this first step. Begin today. Sit, breathe, focus, and let the samurai method guide you toward a life of clarity, control, and mastery. And if you want more wisdom, more techniques, more insight into the way of the samurai, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because this is just the beginning. Your journey toward mental mastery, unshakable discipline, and extraordinary focus starts now. The question is simple. Will you take it?